Okay, today we're digging into 003. So I hope you enjoyed this, let's get this SCP, episode. So yeah, let's dig into it. So it's a Euclid class, which basically puts it in the middle, basically. 3 is maintained at a constant temperature of no less than 35 degrees Celsius, or 95 freedom units, and ideally kept above 100 degrees Celsius, or 215 freedom units. No living multicellular organisms in Category 4 or higher complexity may be allowed to come into contact with 3. So I'm guessing Category 4 organisms are basically like humans and humanoid entities, I guess. I don't know what the hell that means. In event of total power failure, if 3-1 begins to increase its mass, assigned personnel must engage in skin contact with 3-1. Ideally, personnel may use their body heat to return 3-1 to above the critical temperature. However, skin contact must be maintained, even in the event of 3 reaching activation temperature, lasting at minimum until 3-1 advances fully to its second growth stage. Personnel who enter 3's containment area must first be examined for body parasites of Category 4 or higher complexity, as sterilized as such organisms are present. All personnel who have come first into contact with 3-1 are to report immediately for sterilization afterwards. 3-1 must not be removed from 3-2 except in case of emergency procedures detailed above. Any significant change in 3-2's rune activity, including pattern, frequency, or color, should be reported within 3 hours of occurrence. Cessation of rune activity must be reported immediately. 3-2 must be supplied with power via the source designated generator 3-9 at all times. 3 consists of 2 related components of separate origin, referred to as 3-1 and 3-2. 3-1 appears to be composed of chitin, hair, and nails of unknown biology, arranged in a configuration similar to that of a computer motherboard. Testing reveals 3-1 should predate earliest known circuit boards by a factor of thousands of years. 3-1 is considered sentient, but not actively dangerous except under certain conditions. 3-1 was found on stone tablet 3-2, on which it currently resides. The runes of 3-2 are not part of any known language and emit pale, flickering light patterns. 3-2 is controlled by a non-biological internal computer, the contents of which are mostly inaccessible without risk of damaging 3-2. 3-2 is capable of controlled emissions of radiation, including heat, light, and anomalous radiation types. SCP-3-2 contains an eternal power source of an anomalous nature, which appears to have been losing power since several centuries before discovery. It is considered probable that 3-2 was created for the purpose of containing SCP-3-1. God damn, I did it again. Partially interpreted data recovered from 3-2 may refer to a past and or potential future LK class restructuring event caused by 3-1. So basically an LK class restructuring event, if I remember correctly, is essentially reality altering event. So yeah, this organic computer can alter fucking reality if 3-2 were to be deactivated, which is kind of disturbing to think about. 3 was located by remote viewing team SRV-04 Beta. It appears possible that SRV-4 Beta was deliberately contacted by 3-2. Other organizations have also been alerted to 3's existence, possibly by similar means. Despite this activity, 3-2 does not appear to be sentient, based on its lack of reaction to M03-Gloria analysis and procedures. When when 03 drops below the temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, or 95 freedom units, both components react. First, 3-1 enters a growth state characterized by an exponential increase in mass. This growth stage consists of two stages. In both stages, 3-1 partially fuels its growth by converting matter around it, starting with any surrounding inorganic material, including atmospheric elements, to non-living organic material, usually including cells of dead skin, hair, chitin, enamel, keratin, and other biological materials. The first stage is always saying 3-1 increases mass, taking a form similar shape to an ultraroid, brittle star. Okay, so like this, basically. Yeah, basically like this. Basically like a starfish, but like a very fat body and thin limbs, basically. 15 meters in diameter, including what appears to be a central processor of 3 meters in diameter. It will form sensory organs that appear to scan its surrounding environment, and will partially convert the area around it to an unidentified anomalous substance. 3-2 seems immune from a conversion. The second stage describes the growth alteration, which occurs when 3 comes into contact with living organic material. 3 appears to template itself on the organic material, and will attempt communication with organisms that matches the initial template or templates. In its second stage, 3-1 may pause, slow, or change its growth, and will also convert inorganic and non-living organic elements into functionally similar structures while anonymously altering their physical makeup. While growth is consistent in the first stage, in the second stage, 3-1's growth rate is diminished by 20 to 90%, so long as 3-1 remains in contact with living organic material. Percentage is determined by the complexity of the organisms in contact with 3-1. 3-1 seems to devote a large amount of processing power to analysis of living organic material. During each of 3-1's growth stages, 3-2 releases bursts of radiation that temporarily inhibit 3-1's growth, reverses growth when the temperature of 3-1 rises above 100 degrees Celsius or 215 freedom units. Similar radiation emissions have been replicated and recorded via other anomalous means. 3-1's biology has been the subject of extensive study. Significant elements have been similar to SCP-redacted and SCP-1512. Okay, so what is 1512 actually? What is 1512 actually? I don't think I've heard of 1512. Okay, so basically it's like a reality-altering plant root or some shit like that. I don't know. We're burning that bridge when we get to that episode. Okay, and 27 dash. Inches on it. What the hell? I'm not gonna ask what the hell that means. Okay. And the latter two, which have no further confirmed connection with 3-1 and no further connection with each other, none of which are fully understood, technically even less understood than 3, thanks to extensive cross-disciplinary research on the 3 sub-objects. To date, no convincing analysis has been put forward which satisfactorily explains 3-1's connection to these SCP objects and other, nor its connection to modern technology beyond appearance and potential mimicry via unknown mechanism. Antagon, information gathered from linguistic analysis of 3-2's runes and comparative data analysis, research team M03 Gloria has managed to establish a link between 3 and data expunged for analysis of functions. 3-1 must now be considered sentient, and is to be kept at a minimum of 1 kilometer from data expunged and resulting byproduct at all times. 3-2's power loss has been exacerbated by procedures performed by 03 Gloria. On orders of 05-10, M3 Gloria will continue procedures. Problem worse, okay. So they made the power loss worse. During 03 Gloria procedures, 3-1 doubled its mass and began rapid structural growth. Temperature was immediately returned to 100 degrees Celsius or 215 freedom units. growth in mass increase of 3-1 continuing for 9 minutes and 6 seconds, at which time a sustained radiation spike was produced by 3-2. In response, 3-1 returned to its normal state in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. New growth dissolved into a dusty residue which was collected for analysis. Both 3-1 and 3-2 ceased all detectable activity. 3-2 did not resume activity until connected to external power source. 3-2's runes glowed uniformly gray and did not resume normal activity for 3 hours. 3-2 no longer appears to be able to maintain containment area at a temperature above 35 degrees Celsius, or 95 freedom units, without external power supplied by generators 3-3 through 3-9. This procedure, detailed in 3-3, was repeated, and SCP-3-1 again entered a growth rate. After 2 minutes and 13 seconds, 3-2 once again produced a sustained radiation spike. 3-1's growth stopped for 36 seconds, then resumed at its previous pace. Quadrupling its mass, 3-1 formed a coherent outer shell and body. After appearing to scan its environment and partially converting its environment, 3-1 then breached containment, entering the observation gallery where 9 members of 03-Gloria were present. On physical contact with team members, 3-1 encompassed them in rapidly growing appendages and stopped growth for 15 minutes. 3-1 then resumed growth, and arranged the component parts of the center of its floor to the shape of a 3-meter-tall female humanoid, with peripheral tentacles shifting to extrude primarily from 3-1's newly formed hair and spine. 3-1 then produced rudimentary vocalizations and an apparent initial attempt to communicate with researchers. Data expunged. An unknown individual approached the compromised containment area and accompanied a full squad of agents. The individual claimed to act on orders of 05-10 and attempted communications with 3-1. Data expunged. Following the incident, Agent Jackson of M3's Gloria successfully returned power to SCP-3-2 and activated backup generators to return the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius, 215 freedom units. 3-1 returned to its normal state in 21 minutes and 7 seconds, and was successfully recontained without incident. All 9 members of 03 Gloria affected by 3-1 were afterwards found to be physically unharmed with no residual effects besides psychological trauma. The converted effects of 3's former containment area did not dissolve and are now under analysis. The light of the previous incident, 05-10, was removed from the 05 Council by a joint decision of 05-redacted, 05-redacted, and 05-redacted. M03 Gloria procedures have been indefinitely sustained. Well, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, guys. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot be. Peace out.